Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of UA Eats. I'm UA and we are right back at it reviewing another iconic steakhouse. Well, I don't know if I would say this place is iconic, but it's quickly becoming really well regarded here in New York. We're reviewing today another offshoot of the iconic Peter Luger Steakhouse, Benjamin Steakhouse, a steakhouse that many people have asked me to review for a while now and is quickly becoming regarded as among one of the best steakhouses in the whole city. Now, as I mentioned earlier, what's kind of interesting about Benjamin Steakhouse is that it's an offshoot of Peter Luger. We reviewed another restaurant, Wolfgang's Steakhouse, which was opened by the head waiter at Peter Luger of like 30 to 40 years. And today it's regarded as one of the best steakhouses in the whole city and also has many locations around the whole world, as far away as Shanghai. Or was it Beijing? You get my point. Benjamin Steakhouse is in the similar vein, although Benjamin Steakhouse, the guy who opened it, he didn't have 30 to 40 years of experience like Wolfgang Zweiner did, but instead, he had only a few years of experience. He worked as a waiter at Peter Luger for a few years, was amazed at everything that he learned there, and then after just a few years, he opened Benjamin Steakhouse. Today, Benjamin Steakhouse has attracted the attention of foodies and also lots of celebrities from all around the world. I mean, I'm talking people like a diverse selection of celebrities from people like Aaron Rodgers to Shinzo Abe even. I mean, just look at all these people that Benjamin's Steakhouse has wined and dined throughout the years, a pretty impressive list of people. To me though, I'm less interested in what celebrities think of this place. I'm more interested in what I think of this place. So let's check this place out. All that matters to me is how good the food is. So another place opened by a student of Peter Luger and part of the Peter Luger steak tree, as I'm kind of calling it. So let's see if this place is all it's cracked up to be. Okay, so we just got seated at Benjamin Steakhouse and so far service really good. I don't think it's clear that I'm filming. I got a new wireless mic that should be more discreet. So, you know, really committed to bringing you guys the best content that I can. And I really want to introduce you guys to the everyman experience. Get no special treatment. But anyways, before we take a look at the menu, I want to show you this place real quick. Now, this is a beautiful restaurant. I mean, everything about it, really posh, really sophisticated, but somehow it doesn't feel super posh. I mean, it's quite noisy in here, you know? So that's what I like about this place. Like, it's tablecloth and it's fancy, but it's not like overly sophisticated where you can't talk loudly or anything. Like, actually, people are speaking quite loudly, which is a good sign. And what I also love about this place is this super high ceiling. I love how high the ceiling is. Really good for mental health and really good for the whole atmosphere of the place. And service has been good for me so far, and from what I can observe, it also seems pretty good for everyone else as well. So, looking forward to a nice lunch and a great dining experience. But as promised, let's take a look at the lunch menu, why don't we? Now, it looks like they have a pretty nice looking lunch prefix menu, and you know, steakhouses are quite expensive, so I really welcome that for sure. It looks like you get an appetizer, an entree, and a dessert. Honestly, in New York, that's pretty good. The only special I can think of that's better is the Gallagher's lunch special, which is about $32 for 3 courses as well. But this is looking pretty good too. So for each of the appetizers, they got a Caesar salad, a wedge salad, buffalo mozzarella, calamari, and Benjamin soup. I'm kind of curious to try this soup. Ground beef, potatoes, and onion. And then one of the entrees, a junior New York sirloin. I presume that's New York strip. Makes sense that they're not going to give you the full size. Then they got salmon, chicken parm, and rigatoni bolognese. Chicken parm? Go to such a fancy steakhouse and get chicken parm? I don't know who would do that. But let's go with the New York sirloin. I mean, this is a steakhouse. We got to see how it measures up to its name as one of the students from Peter Luger. And then for dessert, talking a little bit more quietly because the music suddenly stopped. Chocolate mousse cake or New York cheesecake or ice cream. Maybe let's try the chocolate mousse cake, why don't we? A quick look at the dinner menu, which they also provided. you know, if not for anything but just for price comparison. You know, your typical raw bar here, fancy caviars and things such as that. Although their Benjamin soup is offered a la carte, and it is 18 bucks a la carte, so that is a generous lunch special indeed. And then out of the steaks, the New York sirloin steak is about 70 bucks just a la carte, so wow. I mean, it's a smaller one, you're not getting the full one, but for 45 bucks, wow. You get something that would be 70 bucks on its own for 45 bucks and 2 sides. The burger is tempting, of course. A $30 burger at Benjamin's. And I hear their cream spinach and their onion rings are fantastic. While this dinner menu is not cheap, the lunch special is really, really generous. So I want to do the lunch prefix, Benjamin soup. I'll do the New York sirloin. That's like a New York strip?
Yes.
Okay. I'll do a New York sirloin, medium rare. Would you recommend the chocolate mousse cake or the cheesecake?
Sure.
Oh, okay. I'll do the chocolate mousse cake.
So Benjamin soup, sirloin, medium?
Medium rare.
Medium rare.
Yes. We will try to order the porterhouse later just to show you guys because that's what they're really known for here. So let's wait and see what we got. Time to review the soup. And this is their ground beef, potato, and onion soup. You know, literally a meat and potatoes soup. Although I guess there's onion as well, which is fitting, you know, because what's the only thing that goes better with meat and potatoes than onion? So this is indeed a very old school, kind of like British tastes, kind of savory soup. Looking forward to trying this. What's interesting is that they said ground beef. I was expecting more like ground beef that we all expect, like a conventional ground beef, but this is more like a cubed beef. This is more pieces of steak, it looks like, probably made from excess trimmings of steak, I presume. So, first the broth on its own. All right. The broth is all right. Let me take another slurp of it. Yeah, the broth is all right. It mostly tastes like tomato sauce. For me, the broth kind of mostly overwhelmingly tastes like tomato, like a tomato sauce, and not like a super fresh tomato flavor. If I can be honest, the broth almost kind of has like a canned tomato sauce flavor. You know, when I cook at home, I do use canned tomatoes sometimes. I don't think there's anything wrong with it as long as you use good quality canned tomatoes and you add something to offset that canned tomato taste, like sugar or carrots or something like that. To me though, this kind of mostly tastes like the juice from canned tomatoes, and it's a pretty strong tomato flavor in that sense, not in like a pleasant fresh tomato sense, so not really for me, but let's try it with a little bit of everything. The meat, the potato, and the onion. Got a little bit of everything in one bite. I just gotta be honest, this isn't really my cup of tea. I mean, steak, potato, and onion, you kind of hear that and you feel like, how could it not be good, right? The steak, unfortunately, is too dry. Like by not using ground beef and just using pieces of steak, I feel like people don't typically put steak in soups for a reason. In this case, the steak tastes really dry, like it's beyond well done. It's very, very dry and not juicy at all, and it's also under-seasoned. Like they at least should have kind of seared all the edges, given it a nice sear and Maillard reaction on all sides, and also seasoned it with salt and pepper, so it's under-seasoned and it's very dry. The onions, I was excited for like a caramelized onion taste, which is what it looked like, but I do think they're cooked a little bit too much to the point where they're soft and, you know, kind of devoid of most of their flavor. And the potatoes are also too soft, I would say. Actually, I kind of take back what I was gonna say. The potatoes might actually be okay. Like the consistency might be okay. I was gonna say they might be too soft, but actually I think they're a good doneness level. So I take back what I was about to say. But in general, this whole thing just needs some more seasoning. So unfortunately for me, you know, I'm gonna save my stomach. This is unfortunately a soup just used to get rid of leftovers, I believe. So, should have went with one of the salads, but the steaks are what matters, so let's wait for that. Awesome. Thank you. Okay, so we finally got the steak, and okay, maybe this isn't the best angle, but this is even the Petite New York sirloin, but it's actually not too small. It's a pretty decent size. So the non-Petite New York sirloin must be even bigger than that. The steak is looking pretty solid. Love the grill marks on it. Love this beautiful shine on it. Hopefully it's nice and well marbled as well. They kept the bone, which I think is a good choice. The part near the bone tends to taste real good. And, okay, the vegetables and the mashed potato look pretty bland. Oh, that mashed potato looks really bland. That almost looks like instant mashed potato to me, but the steak looks good though, so let's dive right in. Let's cut this guy down to size. And let's see what we got. Ooh, yeah, cooked pretty nicely. I believe that's medium rare or medium, but let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let's try another bite. Now this piece looks nice and fatty and has a little bit more sear from the grilled edges. I mean, to clarify, it's not bad. It's still a steakhouse in New York City, so, you know, it's still overall a solid meal, but the steak is kind of lacking some strong flavor for me. I mean, the grill marks are nice. The flavor of the meat is pretty good. There's some smoky flavor from it being grilled, so really nice in that regard. But as I mentioned, because it was grilled, it doesn't really have that, you know, inevitably when you grill something, you're not going to get an even sear across the whole thing. And I feel like when it comes to meat, sear is always great, that delicious, crunchy, crispy Maillard reaction. And when steaks are grilled, sometimes places will grill one side and then the bottom will be seared. But yeah, that's not so much the case here, and if anything, the bottom is less grilled, it looks like, than the top. So the texture, at least for my personal taste, leaves a bit to be desired. The cook is really, really good. I really, really like the way it's cooked, but the steak is kind of lacking some seasoning, I think, both in salt and pepper. I mean, you don't have to go overboard. I'm not saying you always need like a Cajun rub or something, but you do need salt and pepper. For me, the steak is under-seasoned and it's lacking in salt and pepper. And yeah, I mean, salt really will help to bring out the savory flavor of the meat, but pepper adding some necessary spice as well to kind of mix things up. The beef itself as well, beautiful as it's cooked, kind of lacking in that marbled flavor. Like, it's not super fatty. It actually tastes a little bit on the lean end, and New York strip, it's not one of the super marbled cuts like ribeye, but it does have a decent amount of marbling. So yeah, to me, this steak is only okay. I mean, the flavor of the meat is good. Like, I do believe this is dry-aged beef, but the steak itself overall, I would say not as good as some other steakhouses I've had. Let's try these sad-looking potatoes, though. They actually taste better than they look. While they do have a nice buttery flavor, you know, they have some nice butter and cream within them. Their texture, I don't know, it's so whippable. I really do think these might be instant mashed potatoes or fresh potatoes mixed with instant mashed potatoes, perhaps. But what do I know? I could be wrong. Good taste, texture, less good. And let's try one of these pieces of broccoli, why don't we? And the broccoli actually looks pretty fresh. They're okay. I mean, they do taste fresh, and it's solid as far as broccoli goes, but it's still just, you know, it tastes the way it looks. It's just steamed broccoli. Steamed or lightly sauteed, I'm not sure. But while this is nice broccoli, nice and fresh, it is still just broccoli, that's all. Let's wait for the dessert. Thank you. All right, this is the chocolate mousse cake. I was really craving a cheesecake, but it seemed like the server slightly preferred this. I don't know. He didn't really seem super enthusiastic about either, but let's give this a try. Like that cherry on top, a nice aesthetic choice. And that is some fluffy looking, what I hope is homemade cream. So let's, dive into this cake. A nice smooth looking chocolate mousse cake. Hey, that's not bad. Although I think we kind of missed out by not eating this crunchy bottom, what I presume is cookie or brownie or something. It's nice and crunchy and, you know, really tastes like a nice chocolate cookie, but it kind of tastes like Oreos. The similarity to Oreo in appearance and texture of this bottom is uncanny. I wonder if it actually is Oreo. Benjamin Steakhouse, if you're watching this, if it is Oreo, you can admit it, let me know. Everyone likes Oreos. Very similar. I don't think it is Oreo. It's not one-to-one, but it does taste very similar. And now let's try it with a dollop of cream. Let's see what that does for it. Oh, you gotta eat it with the cream. Without the cream, it's actually a little bit on the sweet end. Still good, but you know, chocolate cakes, I was expecting them to be a little bit on the sweet end. So within realm of expectation, but if you eat it with the cream, everything just becomes more balanced. The smooth chocolate mousse combined with the airier cream is a good combination. And the cream is a little bit less sweet, a little bit more neutral, and light and airy. I mean, just look at how light and airy that looks. Just look. Look at how light and airy this cream looks. Amazing. Very, very good cake. I actually really enjoy it. It's not my favorite dessert. I would say far from it. I mean, I'm not sure if I would order it again, but it is good. It's just beautiful, and the texture of the chocolate and the cream is excellent. I just wish it was a little bit less sweet. Before we conclude the review though, I do want to try the porterhouse, because the porterhouse is what this place is really known for, and that's really, really like an homage to Peter Luger. Whoa. Okay.
Very hot, okay?
Sounds good.
Sirloin, short cut filet mignon.
Okay. Wow, just like Peter Luger.
We'll cook a little more, we can cook here on the edge, okay?
Sounds good.
Nice and sizzling hot plate. Filet mignon. Some bottle steak juice.
Sounds good, thank you. Wow, look at this steak here. Certainly, can you hear it through the mic? Certainly sounds good, right? We've eaten at Peter Luger and Wolfgang's before, and you know, this is that Peter Luger serving style, a sizzling steak sliced and cooked in butter. Both Peter Luger and Wolfgang's, the New York sirloin on itself still comes in this fashion, so it's a shame that they don't do that for the New York sirloin on itself, or at least not the lunch special. But this is still looking pretty good if you ask me. I don't think that's medium rare, that's more like rare, but it's okay. I don't mind a slightly less done steak, personally. And this looks deliciously butter basted. I guess let's try the filet mignon. I think he said this one was filet mignon, so let's try this. Okay, one bite of the filet mignon. You know, it's good. It definitely tastes much better than the last steak. I think what it is it's mostly that butter, that sizzling butter. Well, it's not sizzling now, but it was earlier. That sizzling butter adding, of course, delicious butter flavor to the steak, but also hot sizzling butter on steak, keeping it warm, keeping it at a good temperature. And as you can see here, this steak in general has a better sear all the way across. And filet mignon in this case being a good cut, the filet mignon really melts in your mouth. Delicious, but I gotta say the flaw from before still rings true here. While there is a better sear here, the steak is still under-seasoned in my opinion. It's still lacking in salt and pepper. So while everything else is great, really it's just lacking in seasoning, which is a shame. Although you can season yourself, of course, but it's not the same doing it yourself, you know? Better to have those seasonings cooked into the steak. And now let's try one of the sirloin steaks, New York sirloin. Definitely better than the sirloin we had earlier. Just better flavor, more marbled, more juicy, better taste. Melts in your mouth more, delicious. It almost tastes like a completely different steak. I guess we have that hot butter to thank for it. You know, I almost like the New York sirloin more than the filet mignon because filet mignon just naturally has less flavor than sirloin or New York strip. So the flavor of this beef is just better. It's more marbled and more buttery. It's still a little bit less salty and less peppery than I would have liked, but it's very good. Let's eat more of this and share final thoughts outside. All right, guys, so my phone is actually dying, so we're gonna have to make this quick. But yeah, just in summary, I'm really glad that I wound up ordering the porterhouse at the end. I was ready to give this place a less favorable review, but for you guys, I splurged. I got what they're known for, the porterhouse, and it was really good. I'm not gonna lie, it was quite fantastic, and that's definitely the thing to get here. Like, get that or bust. Don't really get anything else steak-wise. It is kind of unfortunate though that the New York sirloin just on its own, at least the lunch version of it, was not really great. Sides were mostly, for the most part, forgettable, I think. The cake was decent, but I still thought it was a little bit too sweet. Maybe just me, maybe some of you guys will like it. I guess for me, I would say that Benjamin Steakhouse, as long as you only get one thing, can be a pretty good experience, but it's not really the most balanced restaurant, so I would still say that it's not one of the better steakhouses in New York, in my opinion. But anyways, guys, I think that's gonna be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Have you eaten at Benjamin's Steakhouse before? What did you think of it? And what are your favorite steakhouses in New York or anywhere in the world? Let me know in the comments because great minds eat alike. If you like my videos, make sure you like and subscribe. That way you stay up to date whenever I post another video. Look at all the leftovers I have. So I got meals for a while now. So until next time, I'll see you later.